Hi everyone, good afternoon. Afternoon Tea with Helen again, another episode. Remember to subscribe, comment and share. And again, I have my tea with me here. And today, again, it's lemon and ginger because that's one of my favorites. And I'll be drinking this through the show. My lovely guest today, Janeris, we're going to find out some beautiful things about her. She's a young entrepreneur that's created some wonderful things. So I'm looking forward to sharing that information with you. So Janeris, do you drink tea?
I do.
You do? Okay. Did you bring some tea to the afternoon tea?
I do. I'm mixing it up right now.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, I've got a little dainty cup, but a lot of times I use my big mug as well because I like a nice big mug too. So, Janeris, you're a very interesting young lady. I want you to tell us about your photography that you do with children and the reasons behind all that.
Well, I've been a photographer my entire life since high school. So it's something that I've always done, but I photograph children because I'm really good with kids. I just have always loved them. I've always loved little ones. And so I specialize in photographing young children with their families just because it's an age that some people shy away from. They're scared of it. And I really enjoy it. I really embrace their rambunctiousness and their playfulness. And so I capture really good emotions and really good relationships with the family.
And what is one of the things that you do with your photography that you give back with?
Well, I have an organization that is called A Sweet Chance, and that organization celebrates the sweet 16s of kids in foster care. So we take groups of kids who are turning 15, 16, 17 years old, maybe even up to 18 years old, and they've never celebrated this major milestone that so many people get to celebrate. And what we do is we get makeup artists and hairstylists and all kinds of photographers, and we bring them all together and have this great, huge event. We photograph them, get them all glammed up. We get them beautiful gowns and beautiful accessories. And then we have this beautiful photo shoot where we give them a beautiful album at the end, and they get to go to a party by limo. So my company, Janeris Studios, actually with every sale or with every booking, a portion of it goes to that organization to help give the teens those albums and to help build their self-esteem.
I love it. I love it. What about you do with babies that are adopted and children that are adopted as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, we also, one of the things that I specialize in is also adoptions, is because I'm an adoptive mom, I'm a foster mom. And so it was easy for me to transition into that path. I have been a foster mom since 2013. And I realized that a lot of the people who are fostering kids, who are ready to adopt them, were not bringing a photographer with them. You know, they just don't think of it as a necessity. They don't think of it as an important part of their, journey. And so people were taking pictures with their iPhones, and I would always see, every time I would go to the courthouse, because I went often with my foster kids, I would see people bringing just their friends and bringing their iPhones. And in the end, when you look at an iPhone picture in a dark room, you really can't print those pictures. You really can't have those pictures for your kids to remember that day. It's nothing special. It's just an iPhone snapshot. And so I began that path on being able to photograph these families when I go, and it's a professional photo shoot. We have a beautiful images that the child can look at as the beginning of their history into that family. So to me, that's really important.
What you said, you've been a photographer all of your life. So what made you be inspired to be a photographer?
I don't know. I was 15, 16 years old, and one of my electives in high school was TV production. Another one was yearbook, and another one was newspaper. So in all of them, I was actually the cameraman. I was either the camera person in the video production room, or I was a photographer in the yearbook and the newspaper. So I just always picked up the camera naturally, like it just came to me. And since then, I mean, of course, 1996, 1995, it was film. So we would have to take pictures, send out the film, and bring it back, but I've always done it. And then from there, I went on to college and studied photography, studied marketing, and that's how my career developed.
So how has that affected your business with people that do have their iPhones, that do, have such great cameras on iPhones, and then they can digitally do whatever they want to do with them, with the Photoshops and all that sort of thing? Has that affected your business in any way?
It has to a certain degree. It's caused me to definitely change. With an iPhone, of course, you can take a gorgeous portrait with portrait mode, and it's really easy, and everyone thinks they're a professional, and it's great. But when you print the quality of an iPhone, it's still not as good as a professional print. And so what I focus on is creating these heirloom products. So what I do is I make albums for you. I make beautiful wall gallery, or I'm doing things that people are not doing anymore, which is they're taking pictures with their iPhone, they're storing it on their hard drive or on the cloud somewhere. They never see it. 10 years later, they're like, didn't I have some newborn pictures of my kid? And then, so what I'm doing is I'm building that thing that, I'm a child of the 80s. And I remember sitting with my mom and my grandmother and looking through albums and actually enjoying those moments, and I still have those today.
Absolutely, yes. I remember doing it with my daughter and my grandchildren as well. And I was cleaning out one of my closets the other day, and I came across some albums, which I'm actually going to scan into my computer as well. And it was like, we just sat there going through the album. It was nice to actually touch something. How does that relate now with, because people, when they take photographs with their cameras, and I know I've had it happen to me, and then your phone dies, you go to the store and they can't do anything with your phone, you get a new one, and then all the photographs on that phone is gone because people didn't save it to the cloud or anything like that, and it's attached to the actual phone. So having something like an album helps with that. So do you take things from people's iPhones and do things with them, or you take your professional shots?
Well, mostly my professional shots. I would love that. I actually offered that service for several years, and I will continue to offer it, which is where I open up a Dropbox for you, and then you upload your images, and then I print them for you. But there's so many easy apps to get those printed that it's better for you to just continuously do it as much as you can. There's free applications where you can get free prints. There are applications where you get them for a really low cost, and it's so easy to just upload into it. So I don't personally offer it often, but if someone wants me to make an album for them or do something special, I will gladly do it. I actually am in the process of designing a wall with an old client's personal pictures. She wants me to design something so that it looks beautiful on her staircase. So, I do things like that. I do more of a personal, one-on-one, very custom design for them for their home.
So if you were to look at your life where you are now, it sounds like you've led a very full life. So where were you born originally? You from Florida? I mean, we're in Florida right now, but were you born in Florida? Were you born in New York? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm from New York. I was born in New York. I came here at a very young age, so I am a Floridian. I think I came at 10 or 11 years old, and I've lived here my entire life. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful place. A beautiful place. Even today, when it's been raining on and off, it's a beautiful place, So what would you say to what I've noticed is, and I love it, is a lot of the youngsters that are, and they're young for me, but that are in their 30s and early 40s, have got so much ideas, so many different ideas, and they've started so many businesses, and they collaborate so much easier than what it was like when I was getting into business and things like that. So what would you advise someone, coming out of college and looking to go into a business for themselves, what would you want them to know that you didn't know but know now?
That studying business or some type of marketing, I think, is one of the most important things that I missed early on. It took me a really long time to figure out that marketing and the components of running a business is much more important than whatever craft you have. You can do anything. You can be a good coach. You can be a good photographer. You can be a good anything. But if you don't have the business side of it, you're not going to make money. And so to me, that part took me a really long time to get to. And someone who is 18 years old, who doesn't understand finances, someone who doesn't fully understand all those things, I think that is what I would push.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice because what one of my mentors told me, do what you do best and employ the best to do the rest. So even if you don't know those things and you don't feel inclined to be able to learn them, then employ someone that can do it for you. Because like you said, you can do whatever you want, but unless you can market it, it doesn't get anywhere. You don't make any money. So you foster children. So what age groups do you foster?
My age group, well, it originally started from 0 to 2. I began fostering because I was very, very sick. And I have a lung condition and a heart condition. And my doctors kept saying, you will never have children. You will never, just forget about that part of your life. I was 26 years old and it wasn't, I would have probably died if I had gotten pregnant because my heart was so fragile. And I began fostering. Once I started to heal a little bit, I, sought out different kinds of medicine and I began to heal. I began fostering, and my goal was to adopt a child. And so I began fostering little ones because I was hoping to be able to raise them for myself. And, and if they didn't go back home, then I could have a child of my own. And so I began the little ones, but over time, I was asked to foster an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, and it kept going up from there until now I just have all ages from 0 to 17.
Right. And you did adopt, yes?
I adopted 2 little girls.
Yes, yes. So how has that changed your life from knowing that you couldn't have children to getting involved in the foster system and the adoption system?
It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. It's something that has made me so proud, so happy, so thankful that I am a part of it. It has been the coolest journey. Like I'm just so proud that from something so tragic as almost losing your lungs and almost having no heartbeat to having 2 beautiful little girls come out of it because of it. To me, that's that's the best silver lining that you could possibly have.
Yeah, my grandmother. I was brought up around foster children all the time because I'm one of 6 of my brothers and sisters, but my grandmother fostered children all the time. So I grew up with that. And one baby she fostered at 6 weeks old, and she still had her when she got married in her 20s. Because of situations. And she fostered older children also. Like you say, they come to you with different ages. And 2 of the boys stayed with her from when they were like 9 or 10 until they went and got married. So 3 of her foster children stayed with her all of that time. They never went back to their parents for lots of different reasons. And they stayed with my grandmother till they got married. So we grew up, and they were our cousins. We didn't call them anything else but our cousins, So it was great to see all of that and to be part of that and to go into the areas. And I've always done that everywhere I've traveled. I've always gone into an orphanage. It doesn't matter where I was in the world. I've always gone to an orphanage. And we got involved in one of the orphanages in Egypt and started helping them and all that sort of thing as well. And it is rewarding, It is rewarding. So how do you see yourself moving forward? What's your vision for your business, your family, you're moving forward? Do you have a vision? Do you have goals? Do you project forward?
Oh yes, I have lots of goals. I have lots of dreams. My goal is to retire a millionaire. So that's where I'm headed. That's my major.
Right, good.
And but to get there, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do photography for the rest of my life. I will eventually teach the business of photography because I think that's something that creatives lack. So
Mm-hmm.
my next few steps, or a few steps up, I think is to become a coach and a mentor for other photographers who want to know how to run a business. That I'm actually in line of creating my courses and memberships and things like that. And in the future, I really want to have different sources of revenue. I want to, work towards having real estate and different things. I just have a lot of different things that I want in life, but I want to focus on one first and then move forward.
Yet multiple streams of income are crucial. And I learned that the hard way. Like you, I became very sick and couldn't work and all that sort of thing. And when that happens to you and you are your business, you don't have a business. So having multiple streams of income was brought to my attention. I've always knew about it, but I thought, if I had multiple streams of income while I'm laying here, not being able to do what I need to do, I could be having extra income. And that's when I wrote my books, did my courses, and had other avenues that could generate money. So you should always, and if you want to become a millionaire, I'm sure the millionaires tell you that, multiple
Yeah.
streams of income. But I think you're a millionaire anyway because of your love, your energy, and the way that you are and the way that you're giving back and how you've done that. We've known each other a short time, but the short time that I've known you, I've seen you interact. I've seen you do things, and I've seen you with children, and I've seen you with adults as well. And you have a very, very unique, special thing about you. You have a beautiful aura and glow. And I know that one of the things that you want to also accomplish is to be on the Ellen show.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will happen as well. One of the things I always wanted to achieve was to be able to co-author a book with Louise Hay.
Oh,
And everyone is 6 degrees of separation, they say, but in today's climate, it's maybe 2 to 3 degrees of separation. And I managed to get to 2 degrees of separation from her, and that was the year she died. So don't wait too long before because you always think, well, they're big and famous, they don't, and all this sort of thing. And I kept putting it off. So by the time I actually put it together, then the poor lady had died. So don't wait too long for Ellen. Don't have it on your horizon too far away. Start doing it now.
I'm writing every year. I'm applying at every game show that she has. I thought she was going to walk out of the closet in the side when you said that. I was like, oh, is she here?
If I could arrange that for you, I would. But I don't know her either. I follow her on Instagram because obviously they're not doing live shows right now because this video is 2020 and we've got COVID everywhere. So there aren't any live shows. We're watching reruns of everything, or you're watching Ellen on her Instagram and all this sort of thing. How has that changed your business? Because you're a photographer and you have to be in front of people to be able to take their photographs. So have you had to readjust how you do things in this year? Because it's been months.
I have completely stopped, 100% stopped. I have my 2 children at home, and that is driving me bananas. I am not the typical stay-at-home mom type, and so that drives me nuts. And so it's been very hard to find the structure to be able to run my business, do the other things that I have to do, and raise my kids at the same time. There's guilt in all areas. So I've just kind of, to avoid additional stress, I've chosen to just stay still and just enjoy what the day brings and kind of deal with what it is when it's here. And I have not been suffering. I mean, God has provided, like we have we just didn't know where the money was even going to come from. And it came from every corner of everywhere. So we have no complaints. We have no, we're not scared at all. We're not nervous. And, you know, I was able to just put all my trust and just say, you know what, I'm not going to stress out.
Good. And that's it, because it's out of your control. And there isn't any point in stressing about something that's not in your control. Well, it's been amazing talking to you, and I hope that people listening to you feel your energy like I do and can see how when you are focused on something, how you can achieve something, and how giving back has a way of coming back to you anyway, because they always say, if you give, you get back. So thank you so much, Janeris, for being on the show. Everyone, if you want to subscribe, you want to comment, Janeris will have her details of all her links and everything down below as well. So if you want to see her photography, you want to look at her website or be mentored by her, the links will be below and you can contact her directly. So again, thank you all for listening, and thanks for another Afternoon Tea with Helen. Bye.